Good morning, everyone. Hope you all are having a wonderful Wednesday morning. It is super cold and snowy here in Columbus, Ohio. I'm looking out the window right now. I believe the temp's around, 17 degrees right now. It's only going to get colder. We have had quite a bit of snow the last few days, so hope everybody's staying warm and some people are able to join today. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with a comfortable seat. Props today, I do suggest definitely a blanket, maybe a strap for a bind option if you have that around, or I'm just going to use my hand, or you can skip the bind if that's not doing it for you. All right. And if you'd like to prop your hips up for this first round of movement, you certainly may. Put a blanket, folded blanket under my sits bones just for a little added height. And let's start with a little bit of centering and just coming into the space. Gently draw your eyes down to a close if that's comfortable. Or gazing gently on the ground or mat in front of you. Coming into your space, coming into your practice this morning. As you inhale, imagine the breath entering through the crown of your head, flowing down the central column of your body into your tailbone. And as you exhale, the breath goes from your root all the way back up to your crown. We instantly tend to lengthen our spine when you envision your breath this way. Making sure that you're not leaning too far forward or too far back, finding that neutral space. Long, tall spine. Palms can be up or down or comfortably in your lap, whatever feels best. Today's class is about moving stuck energy. So a lot of hip openers today. We tend to hold on to emotions, feelings, and even just get tight from sitting so much. So today's class will be about moving that energy through. And as we move that energy through, I invite you to focus on your heart center. So imagine the space right in the very center of your chest. Not your physical heart, but right here. Imagine it growing in all directions around 360 degrees. I invite you to draw in one thought of gratitude for your day. And it can be more, but at least one. Feel that in your heart center. And allow it to grow and expand with your inhale. As you exhale, send it out into the universe. Now imagine one thing you may have been holding on to. Notice where that sits in your body. Where do you feel that physically in your body? Inhale deeply. Exhale, sigh it out, let it go. And gently blink your eyes open. Let's begin to come into our practice. And you can stay with a comfortable seat, or if you would like, you can shift your position. So I'm going to take just cross legs. I'm going to stay up on the blanket. But just a standard cross-legged position. Doesn't matter which leg's in front, we're going to switch it out. And let's begin with some torso circles. So hands on the knees. As you inhale, lean right, lean forward, and then lean to your left, grounding through your right sits bone, and then come all the way back cat back as you rock back. And we'll take this sort of circular cat-cow, but really stretching through your hips here. Inhale forward, exhale back. Taking it at your own pace. You may find that prop is kind of in the way. I'm finding it in the way. Take one more. And we'll switch directions. I'm going to move my blanket out of the way. And we're going to switch the cross of our legs. Hands on knees. Inhale, lean left, lean forward, lean right, stretching through the hips and back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. And forward. Back. Oh, it should feel really nice and good. Waking up your hips this morning. And come to neutral spine. Let's take a few rounds of cat-cow as we're seated here. Inhale, pressing your collarbones forward. Exhale, round your back, separating your shoulder blades, really pressing through the upper back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. Come to neutral spine. Inhale, arms lift overhead. Bracelet your left wrist with your right hand. Lengthen on your inhale. Exhale, crescent to your right, grounding through your left sits bone. Keep using your little bit of tension here with your hand to lengthen through the left side body. And then as you release, take a twist to your right, left hand to your right knee. Inhale, ground down. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Twisting from the midline. Should be able to feel it from the center around your stomach. And release, come back to center. Inhale, arms lift, bracelet your right wrist, left hand. Ground down through your right sits bone, lengthen through the right side of your body. And exhale, begin to lower, taking the twist. Left hand comes behind, right hand to left knee. Inhale, ground down, lift your heart. Exhale, twist from the center of your body, as if your left abdominals are pulling to the right. Just waking up the spine in all directions. And release, come back through to center. Draw the soles of your feet together. Placing your hands around your toes and just begin to flutter your knees. So taking these butterfly legs, waking up your hips. Now coming to a place of stillness, ground down, lengthen the spine. Exhale, take just a little hinge forward. Keeping a long spine, you might not get very far. You should be able to feel the stretch on your inner thighs. And one more breath. You can always sigh it out whenever it feels good. Inhale, come on up. Coming to Gomukhasana legs. Left knee forward, right knee stacks on top. Flexing through both feet. If this is too much, extend your left leg long, but still knee on top of knee. And it's early, so this might be a little much, so take whichever variation feels better. And then coming into eagle arms, we're going to do right arm under left, so cross your elbows, and then you can either do backs of hands together or take the full bind. Before you press your shoulders forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together, roll them down the back, and then not lift your elbows, but kind of push them forward, and you should feel a nice stretch between your lower shoulder blades. 2 breaths. It's a little bit of a variation on eagle arms. Usually our arms are up much higher. And release the arms. Switch out the cross of your legs. And one side might feel vastly different than the other. You might need to modify one side. You can always extend your right leg long. Ground down. Left elbow under right. Eagle arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, draw them down the back. Then press your elbows forward slightly. And you'll know when you feel the stretch. I actually can feel it through my right neck muscles into my shoulder right now. I carry a lot of tension there, so you may feel it in a different spot. Let this feel pretty good to release some of that tension. One more breath. Release your arms, release your legs, plant your feet. Fingertips come behind, just a little windshield wiper to release. And then come to neutral. Feet are hip width distance, fingertips face your hips. Begin to draw your shoulder blades together, lift your heart. You can stay here, or you can take a dynamic reverse table. So as you inhale, lift your hips high, spread through the collarbones. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower. We'll take one more, holding this time. Inhale, lift the hips. Gaze maybe comes straight up. And it could stay right there. If you want to take a neck opening, be mindful here, but you can let your head fall back. Really squeezing your shoulder blades together. Big chest opener. Exhale, begin to lower all the way down. Gaze comes back to neutral. And come on around to tabletop. Walking our hands towards the corners of the mat. Sink hips high, lower your heart towards the mat. You can have your forehead rest on the mat or chin. Really taking a nice big stretch through the underarms, the sides of the chest. Puppy pose. Inhale, press up, come back to tabletop. Sink your hips, child's pose, knees wide. Maybe taking your reverse prayer hands behind your head if that feels good. You can get a nice tricep stretch that way. It's definitely one of my favorite variations of child's pose. Release your hands, look up, come back to tabletop. Tuck your toes, walk your hands out slightly. Send your hips high, downward dog. Keeping a bend in your knees to start. Pressing into your index finger and thumb. Letting your upper arm bones spin in towards one another. Lengthen your spine. Stretch the armpits. And then begin to pedal out, alternating one knee with the other. Taking what you need this morning. You can linger a little bit longer, go a little faster. Then pressing both heels as you're ready, trying to keep that length in your spine. Keep pressing into your index finger and thumb. Gaze forward, bend through both knees, make your way to the top of the mat. Uttanasana as you arrive. Ragdoll for just a couple breaths. Inhale, come up halfway, palms to shins. And then rise all the way up, grounding down, arms come overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's take a few half sun A's. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Ground down, rise up on the inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take that again. High mountain pose. Lift baby back bend, ground down. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, rise, arms overhead. Baby back bend. Exhale, release, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, lower hands to heart center. Ground down through your left foot. Right foot coming up to tree pose. Ooh, find your balance. I'm a little wobbly right now. Pull in your left hip. Right knee presses back. Right foot roots into left thigh. Palms press. Core engaged, tailbone down. Little micro bend in your standing leg is fine. Arms can come up. Maybe palms meet over top. And releasing your hands down. Release your right leg. Give a little shake. Draw your left knee up to your chest. And then coming into tree pose on the other side. Find your drishti. Right hip pulls in, left knee presses back. Core engaged, palms press. Option to extend your branches out. Keep pressing your left knee back. Palms maybe meet overhead. Maybe you walk your gaze up. I'm going to go up a little. Usually when I walk my gaze all the way up, I tend to fall over. Let's see. Not too bad today. And come on out. And come back to center. Ground down, high mountain. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant your palms, make your way back. High plank, hold here for 3 breaths. Getting really strong in your core. Press your heels back, hips in line with the rest of your torso and legs, one straight line. Maybe gaze even lifts a little. One more breath. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Untuck toes as you arrive. Draw your forearms onto the mat in front of you. Palms spread, toes about hip width distance. Begin to draw your elbows back towards your body. Lift your heart. Engage your core to protect your low back. And you'll notice if you don't engage it, it can be a little much. So think about pressing your pubic bone into the mat and then spreading through the collarbones. A little tension as your elbows press back towards your body. Sphinx pose. One more breath. Exhale, release. Let your arms come back by your side. Palms flip down. Begin to draw your your hands towards one another, like squeezing your shoulder blades together. Palms lift, head lifts. Keep toes on the ground for this first round of locust. So think about pressing your pubic bone, lifting higher through your heart. Big heart opener here. Exhale, release. Let one cheek come to the mat and relax for just a couple breaths. Draw your gaze back to center. Taking full locust this time. Let your palms hover. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Lift your head. Then begin to lift your toes. Press your pubic bone. Draw your shoulder blades back towards each other. Lift your heart. One more breath. And release. Let your right cheek come to the mat. Relax. Coming back to center. Press yourself up. Coming to down dog. Hips high. Lengthen through your spine. Inhale, right leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend through your right knee. Roll your hip open. Inhale, come back through center, drawing your right knee all the way into your chest. Stepping your foot all the way through. Lower your back knee down. Press up. Coming to low crescent. Draw your right hip back. Left hip presses forward and sink in. Arms can extend up. Heart extends up. Draw your tailbone down. Exhale, gaze comes back to center. Let your hands come down. You may want a blanket here if your mat is not cushy, under your left knee. Draw your right forearm to your right thigh. Bend through your left knee. Let your left hand catch it. This is where if you would like a strap, you can use that. We're going to take a quad stretch. So some people are fancy and can spin their fingertips around. I can do it only on this side. But take whatever works for you. So you want to keep the alignment in your torso. You should feel a really deep quad stretch as you press your left heel back towards your left glute. If it hurts your knees, you need to back off. You can skip the bind and just come up or stay supported and skip the quad stretch. And release as you're ready. Plant your palms, step back, down dog. Inhale, left leg lift. Exhale, bend through your left knee, roll your left hip open, stretch, stretch, stretch the left side body. Inhale back to center. Exhale, knee towards your nose, coming all the way through, and you might have to walk it up. That's fine. Right knee lowers, toes untuck. Come on up. Anjaneyasana. Find your alignment. Left knee over left ankle, left hip draws back, right hip presses forward. Inhale, arms lift, tailbone draws down, open through the chest, gaze can lift. Low crescent. Exhale, release your hands, come up slightly out of the lunge. Left forearm to left thigh, bend through the right knee. You can place the blanket under your right knee as well. Grab for your foot, and taking that quad stretch, begin to press your your right heel towards your right glute. Finding what works for you today. Like I said, blanket under knee here helps a lot. And release. If you're in the quad stretch, let your hands come down. And step back, down dog. Gaze forward. Step up to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, ground down, rise up, high mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. Sink your hips down, come to chair pose. Draw your tailbone down, lift your heart. Arms can lift or stay. Hands at heart center. Exhale, lower hands to heart center, and then begin to step your left foot back, coming to warrior two. Finding your alignment. Right knee over, right ankle. Tracking towards your second toe. Arms extend out. Exhale, sink in. Maybe your weight needs to shift a little. Find your neutral point. Flip your front palm, shift forward, inhale. Exhale, reverse. And releasing, letting your fingertips come to the inside of your right foot. Heel toe your right foot over, coming up onto the ball of your left foot. Press your left hip down, lizard pose. You have options with lizard. You can stay lifted. You can lower your back knee down. You can come onto forearms. Or I'm going to lower my back knee, untuck my back toes. I like to open my hips sometimes. So letting my right knee come out to the right. Option for an additional bind. Grabbing with your right hand for your left foot. And then taking a little twist. Release the bind if you have it. Right hand comes back inside the left foot. Begin to heel toe your left foot over. Making our way into pigeon pose. Lower your left knee behind. And I like to kind of tuck my toes and then shimmy back. Make sure your left leg is straight. Right knee behind right wrist. And let's stay upright for a couple breaths. So keeping this supported pigeon. Big outer hip opener. I'll only be here for a few breaths. And then exhale, roll over onto your right hip. Swing around to the side of your mat. Right foot comes to the inside of your left thigh. As you take a twist towards your left leg, lift through the heart. Exhale, lower down, Janu Sirsasana. And you can take any variation. If you want to make it a little deeper twist, grab with the outside of your left foot. And then inhale, slowly rise up. Right palm plants, left fingertips to the sky. Modified wild thing. Exhale, release. And come on back to down dog. Taking this to the other side. Step forward, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend through both knees, rise up, chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. Begin to step your right foot back, coming to warrior two. Finding your alignment, left heel aligned with right arch. Sink in. Extend your arms as you're ready, finding that neutral point of balance, shoulders over hips. Flip your front palm, inhale, shift forward. Exhale, scoop it back, reverse. And releasing back down, left fingertips and right fingertips to the inside of your left foot. Heel to your left foot over, spin onto the ball of your right foot. Press your hips, lizard pose. Now lowering down if you're taking the option that I took, or whatever option you took on the other side, even it out on this side. So you can roll your hip open, or you can take a little twist with a bind, grabbing for your left foot with your right hand, opening through the chest, pressing your right hip down. And releasing the bind if you have it. Begin to heel toe your left foot over behind your right wrist. Lower your knee down, tuck your right toes, maybe shimmy your knee back. Make sure your leg is straight behind you, and let's stay upright in our pigeon. Trying to find that balance between right and left. Big outer hip opener here for the left hip. And then releasing, rolling onto your left hip, coming to the side of your mat. Right leg is long. Draw your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Spin your torso to twist over the right leg. Lift your heart. Exhale, lower, Janu Sirsasana. Again, taking whatever variation you took on the other side. So maybe it's a little deeper twist. Maybe not. One more breath. Inhale, press up. Left palm comes behind, right fingertips to sky, open through your chest. Oh, this is one of my favorite poses ever. And lower down. And then this time, making our way into frog pose. So this is where your blanket is really needed. Open up your blanket. And you're going to have it pretty wide so it'll fit under your knees. So make it as wide as you need it to be. In fact, I'm going to go this way. And then with frog, you're going to draw your knees, and I'll turn here so you guys can see if you need to. Knees wide, feet flexed, they come straight behind. So knees and heels in line with each other. Palms in front. You can begin to lower down. Now, you'll find that people tend to sink their hips back. You want your hips in alignment with your knees. So come forward slightly, and then gradually let your knees slide out. So the beauty of the blanket is it protects your knees, and it gives you that little bit of flexibility to move your knees out easily. And then we'll just hold here. Nice, deep inner thigh stretch, hip opening. People love it or hate it. I don't mind it. Don't force anything. Just let your breath ease into the pose. Keep breathing. One more breath. And slowly press yourself up. Let your toes come in, draw your knees in. Sit back on your heels. Move your blanket out of the way. And make your way onto your back. And I'm going to run over just a couple minutes so we can take our restorative bridge. So fold your blanket up so you can get a little support from it. We're going to take our bridge under our low hips. So coming down onto your back, draw your shoulder blades under. Inhale, lift your hips. Let's just take one round of regular bridge. You can interlace hands underneath if that feels good. Couple breaths, opening through the chest. Give yourself a little smile. And then releasing your hands, roll all the way down, one vertebra at a time. Then this next time, we're just going to place our blankets under the sacrum. Inhale, lift your hips. Place your blanket under your sacrum, so it's going to be a very slight support. That flat bony area just below the low back. And then you can just begin to walk your feet out. This will be our restorative bridge / Shavasana. I guess it's not bridge at this point. If this is too much, keep your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And just allow the breath to soften into the pelvic bowl. Allow your face to relax and soften. Noticing all that energy, prana, moving through your body as we release the hips, open through the chest. Appreciating all that is around us, coming back to your thought of gratitude. Allowing it to fill your heart center. Just noticing if maybe you've been able to let go of something that was sitting in that stuck energy. Now gently press your feet into the mat. Slowly lift your hips, move your blanket out of the way, roll down one vertebra at a time. Gently draw your knees into your chest, give them a little rock side to side. And make your way up to seated, rolling onto one side, pausing for just a moment before pressing up. Coming back to the position we started in, Siddhasana, Sukhasana. Sitting with a long, tall spine, enjoying all the benefits of your practice. Draw your hands to heart center, bow chin to chest. It's with so much gratitude I'm able to practice with you today. The light, the student, and the teacher in me honors the light, the student, and the teacher in you. Together we draw our thumb knuckles to the third eye, center of our forehead. And we bow and say namaste. Namaste, yogis.